Can you give yourself some credit?
Tired of losing.
Kenny, come on, man.
The men and women 200-meter finals took place, and let's just say they did not disappoint. Now, I think overall, the men's 200 was far more impressive because I don't really like to watch races where I pretty much know who's going to win and it's blowout races. I like to see good races. No matter who wins, no matter who gets second, no matter who gets third, I just like to see overall good races. And the men's 100 delivered, the men's 200 delivered just that. But yeah, the placings in the men's 200 went as followed. You had Noah Laws, unfortunately, taking the win. I thought that somebody would be able to come through. I had a lot of Jamaicans in my comments saying, O'Brien Levell, he's been saving it. He's been jogging it and shutting it down. He ready to go 19-4 in the finals. And he used to run the 400. So he'll be able to get out and hold Noah off. Then we had people saying Kenny was a good person and he lost at USA's, and he talked about the next time he raced Noah when he's fresh and when they run the same amount, he's going to win. And none of that was the case. Unfortunately, both these guys failed and let Noah win. And then Kenny shows up and does what he typically does. Silver place, Silver Surfer. 1958, ran the season's best and is really close to his personal best. Brian Levell ran a personal best. He ran 1964. He was first off the curve, ran 10:03 off the curve, and then he faded really, really bad. Damn near to fourth, but he ended up leaning and holding Tebogo off. Tebogo with the Olympic drought came through for the dreading fourth place. He got the Wood medal, running 19.6. And Zarnell Hughes, 1978 for fifth place. This is the first time in history four men has ran sub 1970 in one race. So that's just insane. Alexander Ogando got 6, 2001. Carly Makararu ran 2012 for 7th. And old guy from South Africa ran 20.2 out of lane 1 for 3rd. For 3rd is crazy. For last, 8th place. So overall, it was a really, really good final. I could tell how it was really going to go as soon as they came off the curve. Everybody had a good start. Kenny was off to a good start. Zarnell Hughes was even off to a good start. But I seen Noah was just driving a little longer than everybody. And Brian Levell was actually in first coming off the curve. But as soon as he stepped off the curve, like his first 2-3 steps off the curve, after his slingshot, his knees instantly dropped. And I was like, oh, he's about to get ate up. He's about to get ate up. Like, he couldn't hold that speed in which he produced. And that allowed Kenny to just maintain his form long enough to, keep up with the second. And Tebogo, he ran the curve so hard to where he fell apart afterwards. So, yeah, it was those three. And I think lane draws played a major factor in that as well. Them being on the outside and feeding off each other. And I think that Tebogo, he just got the bad end of the stick when it came to the lane draw. But even then, he still ran the season's best, ran his best race of the year in the finals. Pretty much all of them did. Zarnell Hughes, the top 4. So it was a really, really good final overall. I'm curious to see how these guys are going to progress and, in the following year, with next year being an off year. Like, this was a really, really weird year to start running fast, especially with next year being an off year. It's going to be tough to see. A lot of these guys get to finally take a break. They've been going hard for the last 2, 3, 4 years with no break, no rest year. So they'll finally get the rest next year. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how the cards play out in 2027 when everybody comes back out and pop out. Hell, I might be the world champion in 2027. You just never know with these guys. Being curious to see how these younger guys finally get to recover and rest. Guys like Tebogo, who's only 21, 22 years old, had a big year last year. That takes a lot out of you. It's going to take a while for your central nervous system and body and mind to actually recover. So I expected, even seeing his performances this year, and he came and ran his best performances at Worlds, I knew it would kind of be like a drought type of year and like kind of oversatisfied type of year too, especially being an Olympic champion and you run off that Olympic high. That next year usually is a is a fall off type of year, and then they shake back and get back to reality. If you think about it, all the Olympic champions last year, you got to think Noah won the 100. He didn't win the 100 this year. Tobogo won the 200. He didn't win the 200 this year. Quincy Hall, he won the 400. He didn't win the 400 this year. Grant won the hurdles. Grant didn't win the hurdles. Grant didn't even make the finals in the hurdles this year. Masai Russell won the hurdles. She got fourth. She didn't even win this year. She didn't get a medal. So that's just how it typically goes when it comes to that Olympic drought. So I'm curious to see how a lot of these guys will bounce back, these younger guys, and even these older guys like Noah. I mean, Kenny's only like 26. And even Noah, he's not really old. He's like 28 or so. But even then, just seeing how these guys will be able to shake back and do some running, and also what their plans are next year. You know, some people still going to run on the circuit and this, and that. And they have like the ultimate championship shit, but that really doesn't mean anything. But that's neither here nor there. I like to move on to the women's 200. And I'm going to say that this women's 200 was a brutal beating. This was a bloodbath. It was pretty much Melissa Jefferson in a class of her own. She came off the curb and snatched everybody's soul. She came off the curb and snatched everybody's soul. It was pretty much like nobody even had any hope or confidence when she came off the curb. I seen the splits. She ran 11:03 on the turn. The second fastest turn was 11:13, and then it was like 11:20s or something. But Melissa Jefferson won in the world-leading time into a negative headwind, 21:68. Puts her on the all-time list. Then you have Amy Hunt getting second. See, I was talking about how Amy Hunt was going to deal with Gabby Thomas, and Gabby Thomas got scared and pulled out. But Amy Hunt showed up in a big way to a negative headwind, 22:14, getting a silver medal. For the bronze medal, you had Sharika Jackson. She was off to a really, really good start. She faded really bad. I think she did the same thing in the 200 as well. Like, she was off to a good start, and then she just faded. Like, that back end is just not there. I don't know where it went. See, injuries typically affect people's starts and things like that, but she has the start, so I don't know what she was doing when she had the back end, but it's just not there right now. Anivia Battle, she ran 22-0 in the first 2 rounds, ended up running 22-2 in the final for 4th place. You got Dina Asher-Smith, 22-4. Brittany Brown, 22-5 out of lane 3. Marie Jose Talu, 22-6. And then you have Mackenzie Long grounding out the field in butt naked last, 22-78. So overall, it was a decent race between everybody else besides Melissa. It was pretty much 2 races going on. It was like Melissa, and then it was like everybody else back there. But that was a really, really good performance from Melissa. Because when I seen her come off the curve and she was close with like Sharika, I was like, okay, if Sharika pick her knees up and start running, and this could be a race. But Melissa like just held her form and separated from the field. I'm like, oh my God. So that was a really, really, really good race in my opinion. Now, I'm curious to see how these 4x1s will turn out. With Sharika Jackson, she kind of faltered a little bit, but I think that she still had a good showing overall. Amy Hunt had a good showing. She ran 22:14. Dina Asher-Smith looked really good around the curve. She just faded poorly. Like, if she ran a first leg on a 4x1, she would destroy everybody. Probably besides Melissa, but everybody else would be in major trouble. So that's why I have like Great Britain. I think their 4x1 would do some really, really some major damage. Really major damage. Dina Asher-Smith, Amy Hunt, Daryl Nita, and whoever the hell else they have. I think they could do some really, really good damage. But yeah, those how the 200s went today. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Until next time.